Let's head out on the first story of the day. AITA for not giving my family a second chance. 34 male here and not in the US. This February, I was accused of harassment of the nth degree by a subordinate of my team at my workplace. Why? She was not a good employee and knew I was going to write a negative report that would lead to her getting fired. She thought this was the best way to prolong the inevitable. A lot of news of such nature were floating around where bosses or superiors took advantage of juniors, and to avoid all that, my company decided quick justice was the way to go and, without an investigation, fired me. News of it spread around, and my ex teammates looked at me in disgust. I live in my family home with my parents, wife, and older brother's family, and I was forced to leave because I was ashamed to them and society around us in general. All of them refused to believe me, and I get it. Most of the people involved in such cases are all seemingly innocent. What hurt the most was that my parents of 34 years, wife of 6 years, and girlfriend, fiance for 10, my office for 5 thought I was not worth listening to. The light in all of this were my younger sister and my brother in law, who had enough faith in me to know that I was innocent and took me in. They are both lawyers and said they would help me clear my name. It was a long and growling process, and no thanks to the great Rona, that getting court dates were difficult. It was even more difficult to the event I was accused of happened outside the office in an area with no cameras. It was not especially helpful that my wife started posting stuff about betrayal and things are not what they seem. Plus, how my brother and sister in law were posting about living with the lowest trash. Eventually, the loops in the accuser's story of my alibis helped clear me of charge, and now I am suing her for defamation. I got my company fined for their quick justice, and they offered a settlement for not pursuing a case against them, which I obviously took since I am not going back to work in the hell. It has been a month since then. I am set to move in a new apartment near my sister's place and will be freelancing for a while. Oh, and I have also decided to cut off the toxic part of my family and divorce my wife. I am livid for what they did. Parents and brother are sorry for what they did and want another chance. Soon to be ex wife asked me to reconsider for the sake of our child, who I plan to take custody of. They are now guilty tripping me to forgive them and have involved relatives to talk me out of doing something absurd. I am pretty dead set with my decision, as my sister says she will support whatever I choose as long as I do not regret it. I understand such cases are difficult and we have a long way to, but does that mean every single good deed will be negated by some baseless accusation of such degree? I choose to give my blood the benefit of doubt. My family thinks I should understand the pressure they were in and just forgive and forget AITA. Second story of the day: AITA for wanting to vacation separate from my in laws. Soon, my family, my husband to kids' husband's brother, sister, and his parents, and I will be traveling for a week. And the plan is that we are going to fly together as well as stay in an Airbnb together. We have already gotten the tickets, which I already feel we have overpaid for because I get discounts and have miles with Delta, and offered this up to help everyone get tickets. But his family insisted on American Airlines. That's fine, I have no problem with them. The problem that has already occurred is that my family unit paid $200 more than the total of our tickets. No big deal, right? It's family. I'm sure they'll cover dinner or something while we are there. Everything is fine. Now, looking for the Airbnb, Brother in law found a decently priced one that's big enough and it's available for the days we need it and it's perfectly located. Our kids are still small, so they will be sleeping with my husband and me in our bed wherever we stay. In laws who are full grown, full time, working adults who all stay in the same house as each other and split their bills want my husband and I pay half of the B&B. I pointed out that because his parents sleep in separate rooms due to a snoring issue, and the brother and sister will be needing their own rooms, that leaves one room for all four of my family to stay in. Again, no big deal. We don't mind sharing space with our kids. But to expect us to pay half, I feel is a bit much. Maybe a third, but not half. Besides, we already covered extra on the plane tickets. It's been a week since we started this discussion, and my husband has been negotiating with them to no avail. And it appears to be at a stalemate. His family feels that since we are a unit of four, that we should pay the same as their unit of four. I went and looked at hotels in the area and other Airbnb in the area for just my husband, my kids, and myself. And if we did that, we would save $450. My husband thinks that's an asshole move because the plan was to go on vacation with his family. Side note, his mom hates me and his family. Well, his mom and sister regularly belittle me and act as if they only have to put up with my presence because they love my husband. Classic in law situation. But he's close to his family, and I didn't have that with my family, so I feel it's important my kids get to experience a close knit family. AITA. Edit. So we are swallowing it this time so that we aren't all making each other miserable with arguing the whole vacation. But husband agrees. We are never going on vacation with them again unless they get their own separate accommodations. Further update. They are paying for us to have a rental while there, a separate rental car. This evens the total cost a bit more. I guess my father in law felt bad after we had our discussion earlier. Further update. Even though we argued to pay half on the Airbnb, they couldn't get their funds together to pay the other half. So the Airbnb is out, which means we get to enjoy our very own hotel room, all comfy and affordable, and they gotta figure out what they're doing on their own. Sweet, it's all played out. Third story of the day. AITA for suing my sister over a poster my sister's son destroyed. Throwaway account here. My sister bought her kid over 2 weeks ago. In my office, I have a vintage Marvel poster signed by Stan Lee and the artists of the poster. The poster is over 30 years old. Her son saw this and thought it was really neat and wanted me to give it to him. I tried being diplomatic, but let him know that wouldn't happen. For certain reasons, my office door locks behind me and you need keys to open it. This is important. Fast forward the next day. We are going to the park and I can't find my keys. We are looking around the house and I hear her daughter yell out, "Oh no!" And my sister and I go running. Her son has opened my office and climbed on the desk to get the poster down. In doing it, he managed to tear it in half. I am furious. This poster is not only irreplaceable, I got it signed with my now deceased grandfather. It has a lot of sentimental value for me. My sister completely blew this off. Hell, she even started giggling when her daughter said, "Oh no!" the second time because she thought it sounded cute. She didn't offer me anything, even an apology. Her argument is that I should have had my keys on me because I should have somehow expected that her son would try to take it down from the wall. Dad and wife are firmly in my camp. Dad recognized how important this was to me because It was only a few days before he suddenly passed away and was the last thing we did together. My mom and sister are acting like it's no big deal. Sister ghosted me when I texted her asking about compensating me for the poster. In case anyone is wondering, when we moved into my house, we had the poster appraised at $3,000 due to the condition and rarity of this particular poster. I was informed after Stanley's death it went up, but we didn't have it reappraised. This particular one does go on eBay and undersigned fetch north of $2,000. When I served her, my mom called me up telling me it was no big deal and she said she found another poster on eBay. And when I saw the link, I realized it was completely different and wasn't signed or anything like that. It wasn't even the same year. Now, sister is complaining to mom that I'm being mean for going after her and not taking her offer and instead making her pay for it. She thinks I should just let this go because kids will be kids, so AITA here. Edit. Since this has been raised in a few comments, yes, the poster was framed. It was professionally mounted in a frame. It was not tacked to a wall or anything like that. First update. Mom is now in my corner. We hadn't really spoken about this much as I was pretty angry about things. She didn't realize that it was this one particular poster and she knew how much it meant to me. Right now, she's trying to convince my sister of the seriousness of this. Second update. Sister responded to the filling. Her argument is basically it's really mean that he's coming after me for a poster. I offered to buy him another one, but he said no, so I shouldn't have to pay anything. I have heard from dad that her husband is trying to convince her that this isn't going to go well for her and to come to a resolution. It's not even a money thing. She does well, and I'm not trying to destroy her. Third update. The reality of this is setting in for sister. Her husband contacted me last night asking repair cost and what I thought was fair compensation for this. He was really apologetic about this right now. I told him that wasn't even a money thing for me. It was sister's behavior towards me about this. It's what the poster symbolizes for me. I am looking at repair cost now, however. Fourth update. Well, I thought this would be dramatic, but it really wasn't. We did the court appearance via video conference. Judge was not hearing any of my sister's hemming and hawing about this. I was expecting to get the repair costs. They wasn't cheap, that's for sure. I had two estimates, and she didn't want to pay either. The judge had to tell her straight out, offering to replace something with an appraised value that it had with something that isn't even in the same ballpark is unacceptable. I got the full appraised value as the judge considered it the cost of replacement. Sister more or less cut the call as fast as she could. Got a call from her husband again asking if I want a check. Later that night, Sister called me and finally apologized for her and my nephew's behavior. I told her I'm okay with it now, but she needs to understand why I'm so angry. She said she finally did when the judge laid it out. I guess this is it for this one. Not the best outcome, but an outcome. I figure I'll get the poster back from repair earlier next year. Fourth story of the day. AITA for keeping all the money from mine and my wife's baby shower. My wife, 24 female, and I, 29 male, are having our first baby boy. We are due in May, so we had our shower last weekend. Her family didn't really plan the whole thing other than decorating, so I ended up purchasing a venue as I wanted to make a big deal of this to make my wife feel special. I spent $2,500 on this venue, which I was prepared to do and okay with. My wife wanted something smaller initially, but I wanted to do the co-ed thing and invite my friends and family too. After paying for the place, my account was depleted and I won't be paid again for 2 weeks. So I took all the cash we were given in cards and deposited into my account. We ended up getting about $1,600. So I only ended up paying less than $1,000 for the shower. My wife is upset about this because she feels as if the money should be used for more baby things and not to pay myself back, as she put it. I told her I can't just have $0 in my account for 2 weeks. And she said I should have thought of that before booking such a big space for the shower, instead of doing something smaller like she originally wanted. She is also upset because a majority of the money came from her family. I honestly just assumed any money we got was going into paying for the shower, and she assumed it would be for whatever else we didn't get on our registry. I can't help but feel like she's being ungrateful about the situation, but I also possibly should have planned ahead so I wouldn't be left with no money. I will probably use the money on baby stuff anyway. However, I need gas and food. Money as well. AITA here. Edit. Since there are too many comments to respond to, let me add some info here. I don't see it as stealing from my baby since I don't by any means plan to spend all of this money on myself. I am most likely going to be the one paying for everything the baby needs, and also I am going to be helping my wife with her medical bills. My wife has money saved since her maternity leave is unpaid, so it's not like I'm just leaving her high and dry. She has money and I don't expect her to use it on baby things. I thought I would get more money from taxes, so I did think I would be able to afford it. Baby boy will get what he needs, one way or another. But thank you for all your perspectives. It opened my eyes. Edit 2. We got a lot of stuff for our shower, not just money. We have most of the essentials and all the big expensive things. The fact we had so many people is why we got so much stuff. We had about 110 people and definitely got more than what I spent for the venue. I paid it off. A lot of these comments are assuming we only got money, and that's not true at all. And the shower was beautiful, and my wife had a good time. So it paid off in that way too. She's just mad now that I'm keeping the little money we got, but if we had a smaller shower, we wouldn't have gotten all the items we did. Final edit. These responses gave me a lot to think about. I made a rash and impulsive decision because I wanted everyone to see that I could provide for my family. And all I did was prove to myself and my wife that I have a lot of learning to do. My decision to have a lavish shower was based on insecurity more than anything, and I was wrong for that. My wife did eventually agree to have the bigger shower because she wanted me to have and say, since this is my baby too, but asked if I was sure I could cover the cost multiple times. I said yes. Repeatedly, I reassured her that I could do this. I truly did assume that money given at baby showers was to pay for the shower, like how PPL pays for their plates at a wedding, or for whatever we as a couple needed. I didn't even think about the fact that the money is for the baby and didn't consider putting it in a savings for him, but I like that idea. I have never been to a baby shower, so I didn't know any better. Those of you who said I should suffer the next couple weeks are right. I will give the money to my wife and let her decide what should be done with it. Thank you for all your responses. And this is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the stories. Your support is truly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and hit a like. See you in the next comments.